big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. Now, if one thought that 2020 was an extraordinary year on several counts and 2021 would be the year that would provide respite, we have to think again. State lockdowns, an explosion of cases, and a country that's been brought to its knees. The reality is grim and possibly grimmer than 2020. Today, we're joined by Managing Director of Mother Dairy Fruit and Vegetable, Manish Bandlish, to discuss the company's strategies for tackling the second wave of the COVID-19 virus, the current sentiment amongst buyers for dairy products and the food category, and broadly his vision for the Mother Dairy brand, given that he's brand new and has joined it just a month and a half ago. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Manish, for joining us right here on Brand Equity. I must start by saying many congratulations on your new assignment as CEO of Mother Dairy. But unfortunately, what a timing. March 8th, I believe, is the day that you, got on board and became the top boss of Mother Dairy. And here we are, looking at possibly, a national lockdown.
Yeah, thanks, Sonali. Happy to be on this program.
Coming to the crisis at hand, things are only getting worse. And the hope is, of course, they will get better in a bit. But, you may be new to Mother Dairy, but you're a veteran in the industry. So we've seen 2020 and we've seen the harshest lockdown in the world. I'm talking about India as a whole. Right. So, a lot of us have, have understood, have learned, have had realizations and insights on how to handle something so tough. What would you say would be the new bottlenecks that are being thrown up in this new crisis and lockdowns that we are facing?
See, I would say the last year lockdown versus this year lockdown, and first of all, it was a national lockdown. Yeah. And it was announced very suddenly. So people were not really prepared to handle that particular situation. There was a huge amount of disarray in the overall organization, even at the government level. But at the same time, the government was very open to ideas and suggestions. And there were various forums like FICCI and other forums. The ministers were talking to people in terms of opening those supply chains, especially for food industry and logistics for sure. So it took around 3 to 4 weeks for things to normalize. But this time, I'm happy to say that at least the basics are not affected so much. We are into locational lockdowns, but at the same time, I think the government also has had a lot of experience for the last 1 year, and they're not letting the basic supply chains getting either disturbed or diverted. So their focus is largely on providing health services and facilities to the affected people. But I think the food and especially the industry which I'm in, as of now, yes, there will be category related issues where consumption may go up or down, but we've not really had major issues in terms of supply chains disruptions or even any disruptions in terms of our manufacturing facilities. So that is a very positive situation that we see here. And I think it would be true for many other companies as well, especially in the food industry.
That's interesting you say that, Manish, because, in Maharashtra, where I reside, the situation is so out of control that we have already seen, and there is, of course, a ongoing lockdown. The migrant workers have, as it happened last year, have begun moving back home, right? There is also now fear about migrant workers dislocation from Delhi and NCR the region. So what are your concerns at this point in terms of this whole laborer movement?
That fear is a genuine fear which should all have, and I think as leaders in the industry and as a government as well, I think we need to provide a certain amount of assurance to our people, especially people who are engaged in activities which are largely daily wages, especially, for example, our people who are associated with our ice cream carts, for example. They're all, most of them have come up from, upcountry areas. So we at our level are making sure that we are providing them assistance. Even last year, we had provided them with ration and every other thing so that they don't face hardships. This year also, our team is engaged with giving them assurance that we as Mother Dairy are standing behind you. You don't need to worry. And if the lockdown is localized and for a certain few days, I don't think these people will have a large scale migration that we saw last year. I hope that is not going to happen. As of now, for the last a few weeks, migration is still under control. Yes, Mumbai could be different. For Mother Dairy, that is not affecting largely for us so much. But yes, in Delhi, we've not seen any major exodus as of now.
Okay, fingers crossed there, Manish. Manish, specifically want to ask you about the Kirana ecosystem. I know they're resilient and they're strong, and they've withstood several waves where one has predicted their death. But having said that, how resilient are Kiranas and the whole Kirana ecosystem in terms of dealing with lockdowns repeatedly?
See, the Kirana, it depends on the local government how they are handling Kirana, frankly. So in Mumbai, I have reports that Kiranas and other shops are being closed earlier in the day, and you can be the best judge of that. You are staying there. I've been told they are closing at around 11 o'clock in some areas. Somewhere it is closing early evenings. So if it is closing at 8 p.m., then I do not see Kiranas really suffering so much as of now, because they are the closest to the customer, and any customer who needs their daily stuff, they will still find it difficult to service through e-commerce because they will have their own lead time. They will also face challenges in terms of manpower somewhere. And if the boom happens, they will also start feeling the pinch in terms of not being able to supply in time. So Kirana will still play a strong role, and I do not see that getting affected so much. I'm just comparing it to last year.
Yeah.
So I do not see that really getting out of hand this year. And I think the Kirana people are also very well prepared this year.
You represent a category which is essential items. So I guess you will never be in a position where you will be completely shut down. Having said that, what would be the bottlenecks you see this time round if the crisis gets even more graver than what is at hand?
Two or three things can happen. One, certain categories could go up and certain categories could go down.
Okay.
Right? So for example, we have products which are immunity boosting. So for example, we have products like probiotic, we have products like haldi milk, for example. These kind of products we have paneer, which is again, basis quality, we stand, as a leader in the market. These kind of products I feel could go up in terms of consumption, first of all, and also in terms of penetration, because the customers will definitely want to have quality on their side, especially when they have health issues. The products which could have some kind of a negative sentiment could be products like ice creams, which we deal in. We are market leaders again in various geographies. That could have some effect in the short run, especially in this
season. Because of the supply chain?
Yes, a large element of that will be supply chain, because large amount of ice creams are sold through push carts, right, which are next to your homes. And these push carts, if they are not allowed to be standing on the market, or they are told to go early into their depots, that could create some kind of a supply chain problem.
Sure.
So that's more to do with the overall sentiment in the market. But I'm not foreseeing any major disruptions in terms of supply chain or major disruption in terms of manufacturing. Yes, on the ground services could get disrupted if some channel partner is, taken aback because of COVID, or some of us sales system people could get affected by COVID. That definitely will happen. But overall, I do not see any major issues right now. This year, we are much better prepared than last year.
Could you give me a sense of all the verticals that Mother Dairy, fruit and vegetable are currently in?
So we have the Safal as a brand.
Yeah.
In which we have our outlets based out of Delhi NCR, in Orissa as well, some of them, through which we sell our fruits and vegetables, which is a good brand in Delhi NCR especially. We have Frozen under the Safal brand name, in which we operate in multiple categories, like from peas to corn to even ready frozen products. We have Dhara as a brand, It's a substantial and a very, very strong brand in the Indian psyche. We are market leaders in certain geographies like Bihar, Jharkhand. Then obviously we have the milk and milk products. So we have the whole range of milk products besides the basic milk. We are also the pioneers in terms of heritage related pioneers in the token milk facility that we have in Delhi, especially Delhi NCR. So these are the categories in which Mother Dairy operates.
So essentially what I was trying to get at is that, dairy would be your strongest vertical and your biggest money spinner for Mother Dairy at large, right? And my question is, you've been around for a while. Why is it that your concentration and your success is, limited to Delhi NCR and surrounding regions and not become a pan-India brand, although it has all the merits in becoming a pan-India brand?
In some geographies, we have definitely entered late as well. And then milk, like many other categories, is a matter of habit. Yes, Mother Dairy is very well known in various geographies and markets. People are sometimes have inertia to change their brands and categories. So I think as a Mother Dairy brand going into a geography where we are, I think we need to make an effort to make sure that we are again reaching that level of number 2, number 3, wherever we go. I think that should be the strategy. Otherwise, we don't go. And I think that is how the organization's effort and resources need to be deployed, so that if you're going into a geography, we live up to our name and not just be present in the geography.
One of the big things in the dairy space is the strong regional players, right? And as you rightly pointed out, dairy is a matter of habit. So, for instance, in Maharashtra, I know Maharashtra because I live here. We have Chitle, we have Prabhat, we have Govardhan, and these are all very strong players by themselves. How does a national player or a brand that is aspirant to be national kind of break that very strong emotional connect with that particular brand in such an intimate space?
There's no need to break that chain. Yes, I would want to take shares from competition for sure, like anybody else would like to do. But this market is growing at a very fast pace. I mean, if you see the categories we are in, even milk, for example, is growing at around 4 to 5% annually in terms of consumption. Other categories of value-added products that we call, even dahi, for example, or any other value-added categories are growing at 15-20% per annum as a category.
Why is that? Are more people consuming, or is it that the usage is becoming more per consumer?
It's both, actually. People are converting from loose to branded, and this is not a new journey. This has been happening for years together now. Even when I was in college doing my MBA, even that time people were talking about converting from loose to branded. It is happening in multiple categories, and it is happening across geographies. So people are consuming more of branded because that gives them assurance of quality. Ab dahi dekh lijiye, curd in the market used to be sold in those containers out of a scoop, right? In the southern containers. Where do you see it now? Most of the people are converted into pouch curd or cup curd or any other form. Very less of curd consumption is happening right now on the loose. Same things we are trying to do for paneer, for example, because paneer as a category is still sold loose and you're not sure of quality. So we would like to convert customers into branded, and so would any other company would try to do that. So I think there's a large canvas in which you can operate. It will involve taking shares and also growing categories. So as a leader in the industry or any geography, I think there's leaders' prerogative and responsibility to grow categories, to convert people from, like I said, loose to branded or any other way, so that a category really grows and everybody can then take that share.
In terms of dahi, I'm particularly interested because the Indian culture, and most of us have seen it when we were growing up, is you see your parents or your grandparents jamawing dahi, right? Right. So are you seeing a big diversion from jamawing dahi at home to purchasing, cup dahi or dahi pouches?
Definitely happening as consumerism grows, as people become more and more independent of joint households. Definitely with double incomes, lot more shift is definitely happening towards branded and packed items. And dahi is one of the examples which I gave. So you can't take away the habit in a jiffy of, like you're saying, jamawing dahi. Is going to continue for sure. It's not going to, disappear overnight. It disappears with, maybe every 5 years, 10 years when the generation changes. These kind of habits will get ingrained in the new generation in terms of trying new things, exploiting new things. So it's going to happen over a period of time for sure.
You also, I know again, you've just joined, but Mother Dairy diversified and entered the bread segment last year. How has that performance been so far? How would you evaluate it? You'd be the best person, I'm sure you're evaluating the entire company at the moment. And why bread? I mean, it's isn't it a very difficult space to actually make a mark, or is it that people don't care what brand of bread as long as it's bread? I mean, how does a consumer look at it?
See, Mother Dairy as an organization, if you see, as I said, is into one big consumption pattern is into the breakfast, right?
Yeah.
So you consuming milk in the morning, you're consuming various milk products right in the morning, right? May it be children, may it be the husband, wife, etc., etc. So bread is an extension of that, number one.
Okay.
Second, number two is we have a large number of touch points in Delhi, NCR with the consumer. We have our exclusive booths, we have kiosks, and so many other channels, more than 2,000 such consumption channels which are exclusive or largely exclusive to Mother Dairy. We would like to go to the customer's palette in as many categories as possible from that channel for sure. So as of now, we are not launched bread into the retail channel for sure. We are still in the trial stage to see how the performance is, how is the product accepted. We have launched a few categories of bread right now. We would, basis our own internal, expectation, we are planning to launch other categories as well. So we still don't have a multigrain bread, for example. So we would be in the process of launching that. And why not? I mean, I think once that succeeds, maybe we will go into the retail market as well, depending on how the whole business goes.
Safal saw 100% increase in sales, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, in FY21. What do you attribute this grand growth to, and how do you think it will sustain?
So I think that is a very, very key area for growth for us as an organization.
Okay.
As I said, in the case of dahi, consumerism is going up in Indian market. People are consuming larger amounts of frozen items, and I think Safal as a brand is very, very strong in this space. So for us, that is one big lever of growth. And we tested a few products last year with, frozen aloo tikki and hara bhara kebabs of the world. They're all manufactured in-house, and innovation done by our own R&D team and the manufacturing team. Very well accepted by the market. I think now is the time for us to take a next leap to, develop more products. Because we have a steady channel for distribution, I would like to grease that channel more and more so that we get more from that channel and we have a great business going forward. So I think frozen is a great category to be in right now.
If I had to ask you, now, for instance, everywhere I see your presence, it's broadly Delhi NCR, strongest Noida, Ghaziabad, Faridabad, Gurgaon, and Bangalore, somewhat. So what is the plan now? I mean, are you saying this is enough for now because you need to strengthen your positions there? Or is there an aggressive approach we are going to see? I mean, I know this is all wrong timing to be asking you this question, and there are bigger challenges right now to face as we speak. But is there a plan, let us say, going ahead, once we overcome this COVID war, at least a little bit in terms of things settling down? Is there a more aggressive plan, given that we have a new CEO now, a new aggressive mother dairy avatar to capture more states and, enhance presence?
We would like to first gain shares in the market we have already launched in. For example, I would take a two-step process. So we are into various markets, not only Delhi, NCR, and Bangalore. So we are into multiple markets. We are into Calcutta, we are into Bihar, Jharkhand. We are into national distribution on Dhara. We are on national distribution on frozen. So it's not only certain categories or certain states, right? So yes, for those products, we are nationally distributed. For milk and milk products, we are into Mumbai, we are into Nagpur, we are into multiple locations, including MP, Chhattisgarh, and so on and so forth. So agenda for now in the first phase is to make sure those businesses grow to a very, very strong critical size, parallelly plan for other bigger geographies. And like I said, it is a densification process. Haphazardly going into a market without having a critical size will not make any kind of sense. So ideally, you have to grow in concentric circles as far as possible and keep on expanding your reach basis your own strength areas instead of going blindly into markets which don't make sense.
So given whatever you've just stated, can I assume, Manish, the kind of advertising dollars you'd be spending this year would be quite large because you want to make a big splash and get brand recall and awareness and memory, have it on top of mind recall, going forward?
My board tells me you're not spending enough. So that's a very positive sign for me. And so I think if you see, we have already started our first phase of advertising with ice creams. Rishton Ka Swad Badhai campaign is already on air starting last week of March. And we got very good reviews from that. Unfortunately, this whole COVID thing is definitely going to impact that. But at the same time, for this year and beyond, I'm not talking only this year, our aim is to invest into creating that mother dairy brand for sure. So we will definitely be spending more, if not dollars, and Indian rupees for sure.
Well, Manish, on that note, I'd like to wish Mother Dairy and you personally, a lot of luck, a lot of strength to overcome all the business challenges you'll be facing, as we traverse this very, very rocky landscape. And all the very best. Stay safe and stay happy, and hope you and yours remain safe in these very dark times.
Thank you, Sonali. And I see this as an opportunity. And I think we will come out very, very strong out of this whole COVID situation. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.